like solving engineer problems is something that I can do for a long time. It's not a impulsive kind of choice that sounds cool, but it's this feel I feel like yeah, I can do this forever if I need to, right? I think that's one reason. The second reason is it's just so damn hard for people to build a successful career in the startup space, and we need a lot of innovation. I mean, and then we need a lot of talent to make the innovation happen. And nobody's solving people's problem, the engineer's problem. So that is really compelling to me, to do this with a group of great people. So that's why I joined Commit from the early days.
Well, first of all, I was committed to you because we'd worked together, and I really appreciated the same values that we shared around, like, honestly, just like treating people really well. And like knowing that you had the same vision that you could like build a really kind, friendly, people first organization that could also be like ridiculously impactful and big. And so like that was really what joined me with you. But then it was like this funny thing as we kind of looked through all the different places we could apply ourselves, that like this future of work was really something that needed leadership, right? Like there was like a lot of different ways it could go, and there's a lot of really positive things that it could bring humanity, right? And like I just thought that it was just such a I always think like if you're going to start a company or start a startup, the most likely outcome is you're going to fail. So you might as well pick something that's worth failing at. And this was definitely something worth failing at. Like, how can we help people lead more creative lives, more purposeful lives, where they can actually connect with projects that they're passionate about? And honestly, like me and you had built pretty good tech careers all the way outside of the Valley. And we knew a lot of people that struggled to like find their next wins. And they were like, loved building startups, but they got to a stage in their career where they had mortgages and car payments and things. And they did the pragmatic thing and joined bigger tech companies where they weren't being fully utilized. And that like frustrated me on a human level. Like that sucks when you're unhappy at a job, but it really frustrated me from like a macro level. Like humanity's loss is these amazing creators and builders are not doing the thing that they love. And so that was like a lot of purpose to me. And I think that the next 20 years are going to see just huge changes in how we organize ourselves to build stuff. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I love that pretty near every day or every couple of days, there's like a new problem to solve that we never had thought about before. And I love how we go about things. Like I love that we have like a really strong operating principle since day one, which is do what's right for the engineer. And I love that we work with each other with empathy and trust. And that like, it's kind of like, oh, like there's this thing that we never thought, like, oh, sorry. I also love the fact that we don't solve problems ahead of time. Like we really focus on solving the core problems when they're in front of us. And when they're in front of us, we go, okay, how do we solve this? But then how do we like create a playbook and solve for the next 1,000 people that are going to have this issue and streamline it? And so, yeah, it's like, it's literally like working here. It's just like, it is just about the journey. It just is like, we obviously know where it's going and it's showing up and just kind of putting the time in. But like, that's the stuff I love about Commit. I love working here with the people that we get to work with. What about you? What do you love about Commit?
Yeah, I mean, like absolutely, like just I always love working with a group of people I just enjoy, working with, right? Or becoming friends and, have the synergy and also different opinions and good discussions, like just the whole environment, I really enjoy, I working at Commit. But most importantly, like I think what drives me and what touches my personal feelings all the time is the graduation stories. I think like from a marketing make a big buzz perspective, we actually don't make a ton of buzz when someone graduates. But if you think about it, it's a pretty important life moment for all the individuals who graduated into a startup for potentially years or even longer, right? Who knows? And every time there's a story like that, it just touches me. That I felt like I'm just I'm making something positive, for someone's professional work and even life. And that kept me going and to do even more of that. So that just fuels me all the time. So let's keep helping people to graduate.
And we haven't had it yet, and it's kind of like it's like like finding a job that you're happy with is such a positive thing. And when we take the stress out of it, it can just be a purely positive thing. And then like I'm really excited about, like, we haven't had it yet, but when like either the startup's not doing well or like closes shop or the engineer's done their job in the company, we haven't had that, like, we call it the boomerang, like people coming back yet, which is like a good thing because we focused on people that want long-term fits. But I'm going to be excited for the next time, for the first time someone's like, okay, my journey here is done, and like we're all really happy with it, and it's time to re-enter, because that is such a stressful thing. Like I've been through exiting out of companies, and it can be pretty stressful. And so if we can like even like eliminate the stress of making career transitions, that's like, there's so much humanity's time is put into stressing about those things that we have a really great chance of eliminating.
I would say, because we are so much focused on the early stage startups, right? And if someone is just, not into the ambiguity, the change, the rapid change, and the potential stress that comes with the early stage startups, it's probably not a good fit for them, right?
Right.
So then in that case, much bigger organizations would be a better fit, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's probably the what I look at the most.
So yeah, so for me, what kind of person is not a good fit for Kivit? I would say somebody, like you said, somebody that gets stressed out by vagueness and ambiguity. Because if you don't like operating in an environment where there's vagueness and ambiguity, then startups are kind of tough for you. I think someone who likes to just do their one job, like they're kind of more of an independent contributor, right? Like they just want to do their job. They just want to like not interact. And honestly, that comes down to collaboration, right? Like, early stage startups need a lot of collaboration. So, you need to be willing to kind of connect with people and, work with them and think around problems, think holistically about the problems you're solving. This is a great secret about being an early stage tech lead at a company. The technical skills are important, but they're not as important as the collaboration and the problem solving skills. Those are like core for anybody at a startup.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of the skills are trainable, right? So that's going to goes back to, like my point about the open mind and learn, right? Because every ambiguous situation is a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity to step up,
right.
but you have to take the step, right? To step up,
right?
And that is the most important, essential skill or soft skill, whatever we call it, that needs to be there.
That action bias.
That action bias, yeah. Yeah, good question. Obviously, there's sound technical foundations. I don't mean knows everything deep. I just mean really have a good engineer mindset, right? Being able to write high quality code, and based on experience, right? So that's that's just the foundation. And then on top of that, what would make me excited is the mindset of I have a strong, not mindset, I have a strong passion on certain areas in the industry, whether it's fintech or education or impact, whatever it is, like have some strong passion on certain industry. I think that's important. Whenever you have a strong conviction on certain industry, then you are more likely to succeed in that industry, right? So I think that is another one. And then just really, someone who thinks beyond writing code, right? I mentioned about, gotta be solid foundation on code. That's just like the basics, right? But then also someone who thinks about customers, who thinks about business trade-offs, compromises. That's really important as well. And then also someone who thinks about, people and team around around him or her, right? Like making people around him or her like better, right? That's it's just like I think similar to the collaboration that you mentioned early on. Like it's gotta be a collaborative person, a team player. Yeah, and then just like a really quick learner and with a growth mindset. Learn some, roll up the sleeve. Oh, I need to learn, this particular regulation. Yeah, I'll learn that. Like I'll take it on, right? Or I need to learn this particular, industry. Yeah, I'll learn that. So or technology, right? Like really a good learning mindset, and just like a growth oriented. So I think that those are the qualities that would make me excited. One of them, or all of them, or a mix of them, right? I said a lot of things. I'm not looking for everything from everyone, but these are the major areas that makes me excited.
Cool.
How about you? Yeah.
We have this ethos internally that we want to build an organization that's optimized around three things: learning, helping, and having fun. Mm-hmm. Right? And we talk about learning a lot. That's really central to what we're doing. But all three of these are really important. So that ability, you want really talented people that know how to learn. They're like addicted to learning and learning new skills, right? But that in and of itself, if they were just good at that, it wouldn't be a good fit. You need to pair that out with somebody that's willing to teach and help other people, because then that knowledge that they have is scalable. It grows virally through the organization when they're collaborating and communicating and participating with each other. And actually, I think that those two things are just really where the value of this decentralized community is that we have people that love learning and they have the ability and desire to share that with others, and like really, really be generous with their time, right? Like we've seen it countless times when somebody has a challenging problem at the startup that they're at, there isn't the resources internally, and there's this natural way to leverage the external community to help them solve those problems. So like those are like the two sides of the coin. Like, why learn something amazing if you're not willing to work out loud or share with others externally, or share with others in general? But the last piece is the one that it's like having fun. Like we got some people here that are just like, they're just great people. They know how to have fun. They like, whether it's games nights or back before COVID, like, organizing events and things like that. Like, work is by its nature something that's really personally satisfying for a lot of us. But you also need to have that levity, because we're all choosing to do the impossible. When you join a startup, you're not looking for predictable growth. You're looking for extraordinary growth. And you need to like have that like crowd around you that's like, hey, that's cool. Like, take another shot at that. Like not taking, like, be focused, but not take everything so seriously. And frankly, that's something I really value, is that some people in the organization help us have fun and have fun in a professional environment. It's really important. So I'd say the perfect person is somebody that's addicted to learning, helping others, and also having fun, and can kind of add to that. Like that creates this really contagious environment that I think is good for individuals, but also good for the industry.
Yeah, and for the whole community, right? I agree, especially now, like we are talking about startups, which is, I mean, it's not easy work, right? And we're also talking about fully remote. And when you put them all together, people need to have fun, right? And people need to surround themselves with a fun community, right? That's whether that's friends or family, or a professional community, right?